for joining us today. This is Live with Ya, and the segment is Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. And we have FODA ATTOBRAH, the author of the book Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. And
Hello.
yes, and Ofusu from the UK joining us. Thank you for your time and waiting up. And then my name is Hiara. So today our topic is the outcast. And the quotation is from Leviticus 13:45-46. So we will read the paragraphs and then um, we'll talk about it as we always do. So here we go. Okay. So the outcast. Something I read in Leviticus 13:45-46 gave me the idea for this piece. I want to start by defining who an outcast is. Noun. An outcast is a person who has been rejected by society or a social group. Synonyms: pariah, persona non grata, reject, outsider, leper. Adjective: rejected or cast out, made to feel outcast and inadequate. I am sure we have all felt this way at some point or other. If you are special enough not to have ever felt this way, picture this. You feel despised, loathed, rejected, and not worthy. So I think because Fosu is here for the first time, I will ask you.
Put her on the spot.
Yes. And ask you your thoughts about this. Like, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind is, I mean, in churches, we get to see people who feel
Hello.
Hello,
How are
Sage.
you?
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes, thank you for coming.
who feel despised and rejected when they don't conform. I would use conform this way, conform to certain ideals of the church. So it is the expectation that you have to go for midweek service or Sunday service. And there are times when, especially if if you've traveled outside of the country, when your work commitments will not probably allow you to go to church, and people will start asking you why, and they don't make you feel kind of loved or belonging because you are not coming to church regularly. So my idea is of if you don't follow a certain norm or you don't conform, you get a bit of rejection from a group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I would use my personal experience, for instance. When I had my second child, I was on maternity leave. We moved from where we lived to a new place. Luckily or fortunately for me, my mom came to help me with the children because I had two children. So I had time to go to church because she'll be helping at home, and during the week I'll have time to work from Monday to Friday, Saturday do and Sunday go to church, and my mom will help me with the cooking. When mom left, I couldn't combine all of that. So there are times when I'll miss out on church service, and there were certain people who would see you in town and ask you, "Oh, why didn't you come to church today? And what was the problem?" And I'll say, "Oh, well, I'm juggling two children and a job. I've just resumed from maternity. I've just resumed work." And, "Oh, we do understand, but we'd love to see you." Okay, that's fine. I'll try and come next Sunday. Probably I won't be able to go, or probably I will. I will go. And later on, when I couldn't go for a while, these same people, I see them in town and they'll walk past. They won't even bother to ask anymore. So it's like, well, you don't come to church, so you're not part of us anymore.
Yeah, that's
It is awful. It's disheartening. It's disheartening. Yeah.
So I want to ask this. Did anybody call you to find out what was going on with you apart from them meeting you in town? Were people following up on you?
Nobody called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where they are brought, but nobody called. Where I brought not an African church. Nobody called. But before that, they would used to probably check on you, but nobody called. It's like, okay, that's fine. If nobody's going to call, and no longer, if other people are seeing me in town and they are pretending not to, what's the point? Yeah, because my understanding is, the church should be like a hospital where if you have an illness, for healing.
I've always said this.
Yes.
It's a hospital for sick people, not people who've arrived already.
Yeah, so if you are forsaken and nobody wants to talk to you, what's the point? Because it got to a point where I felt that I was going to please people. Shouldn't be the situation. Me going for myself and for God, but not to please people just because I want them to talk to me. Yeah, not a good feeling at all.
No.
But then local churches, the African ones, churches, yes, it's quite how should I say it? It's not subtle.
Sorry?
Some people, it's not quite subtle, the rejection. Some of them get to the point of saying that, oh, you've backslidden.
Yes.
They would say you've backslidden. Oh, you're no longer a sheep anymore. You were a goat. I mean, if you are oh yeah.
They are telling you to your face.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness.
You are no longer a sheep, a goat. Probably the next service, they would mention something about people not being loyal.
Missy agrees with us.
Hello, Missy.
Yeah.
Welcome, Missy.
It's quite
spiritual hospital. Yes.
But you get that, and one thing that somebody said to me was, "Oh, I'll say it in our local language. Me bom paye se Nyankopon betwe aso."
Oh.
Yes. Me bom paye se Nyankopon betwe aso na wetimi aba asori de bia. Wow.
We are so judgmental. Like
judgmental.
when something happens to you and us will be then it becomes like, oh, share or mass oriented.
Yeah.
But we never stop to find out what is going on with people, why they are not in church.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and they reject you and they don't talk to you anymore because you don't belong, and suddenly they see you as, should I say, unbeliever, you're part of the world and all sorts. Yeah. So
but that's being self-righteous.
that is it. That is it. I've been in situations where people who are not in a church, who are not religious, have been quick to come to my aid rather than people in the church. And it's just because you were in a church, but you are not in a group. You are in a Sunday school, you are not an usher. So they see being committed. So if there's a need for them to help you, they'll go, well, you're not kind of committed. they will not give you that helping hand. Yes.
So like church has become very cliquey.
It is very cliquey, very, very cliquey. And you become an outcast. Yes. There's a label for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's deep.
It is.
It's very sad though. It's quite sad, really.
That
Yeah.
it's
So
happening in the churches instead. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, for that, if you wanna add on.
oh, I thought I'd been interjecting and adding on.
Oh, you
Well, you
have.
know,
No. Maybe you have something else to
well, see,
say.
this I don't know. Like it's almost like we take Nyamesomno too far. The way I look at it is I always say that yeah, yɛte hɔ no aborɔfo no a wɔde nyamesom no brɛ yɛn no yɛkora no yɛdeɛ no abɛtra. Like we are so religious about it. We're so religious about it. It's so, I know Ajua has a comment, but she put a comment, but I'll bring it up when we get more deeply into the bullying. So I'll bring Missy's comment first. She says it's sad some people in our churches are those who hurt us the most, especially the ones. Yes, thank you, Missy. Bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
So it's like you're judging nipa, we judge too much, right? And for me, because I was in our churches, like I was in two of them for quite a long time, like the mindset, you think a certain way, and then you get to a point you tell yourself that you are an adult, you can think for yourself, you know what is right and what is wrong. So it's not like you should. If you can't go to church today, there's a reason why you can't go to church. You choose. You choose. You can think for yourself. Look, COVID hit us. Who could go to church? So those of us who run to church and are doing the eye service so that the leaders will see them and see how great they are. And meanwhile, maybe there's nothing, their spiritual life is non-existent. We were all in the same boat. We are too rigid, we are too judgmental. Like, how can somebody tell you, say, Nyame ntwe w'aso paa na you pursue them? What about them? What about them? Are they okay? Because you see, we come to church once a week. That is Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, up to Saturday. Do I know what you are doing? Are you even opening the Bible to read it? And yet you come to church and come and be all holy, holy because you want to throw sand or wool over people, over people's eyes. It doesn't seem right. Like each of us, we need to check ourselves individually. I always say culture versus faith. Our culture, no, it seems like we are so judgmental, we are so negative, so everything we put a negative slant on it. But when COVID came, then I realized that, look, like, when you leave those environments, it's not like, look, I'll give you an example. I always give these examples. Today we went to church and it was a youth pastor, a pastor in training, this young lady who preached. Oh my goodness. You should have seen the way that the pastor said, oh, we are being overtaken by the next generation, and that is all.
Building her up.
And
Wow.
I'm looking forward to this message. Like I say, we left here about 9:33 to go to church. By 11:40, we were home. The whole service, no 1 hour, and I think we were just 3 minutes late. So worship had started. The message that she brought, the journey of faith, about how Abraham had to go sacrifice Isaac, and then just what it entailed, the faith level. And now Onokrano, she was very realistic. She said she's struggling with pride, things like looking to God, trusting God instead of relying on your own strength, and things that she's dealing with. So it makes it so real. But Obaya sorry moi. Also, fun will come and preach at you like, as for you, you are the sinner and you are not doing this, you are not doing that. Like, we need to give people something to work with. And I feel like this Pastor Abby's preaching this morning, she was very real. She was very real, very vulnerable, and there was a family who were there, like a grieving family. It was kind of, they came for a memorial for their, so I said, oh, this word is a word that will even can touch somebody, like it was a good word that came forth that, hey, whatever you're going through, So I'm saying, why can't we be real about Nyamesomno? Yeah. So I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Surprising how.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. As Missy said, like the leaders of the church, I remember, oh, especially the ones, yeah, we look up to. That's what I want to comment on. I remember there was a time that I wasn't really going to church. I moved, I came back, but when I came back, I wasn't going. And the pastor came to a baby naming ceremony and he saw me because before then nobody actually called me. And he asked, "So why are you not coming?" And I told him the truth. At that time, I was feeling so overwhelmed. I told him, "I'm so tired, like internally and everything. I'm so tired." So I was expecting him to like give me encouraging words, or he just said, "We are all tired,"
Oh wow.
and that was it. we,
Wow.
we are all tired. Yeah, that was it. And it wasn't like we are all tired, so da 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 da. This is how you can go through it, or we are all tired. It was like kind of snobby kind of way just to
Wow.
put me down. And that was when I decided never ever to step foot in there again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I hear you. It's like
yeah.
me, the one time I'm somebody that I used to not sleep well at all. It's a bit different now because I'm on Juice Plus is helping me,
Oh,
but
good.
I never used to sleep so well at all. And I remember I would comment about it. Then one day in a prayer service, like I heard something like, oh, the word of God, I think it's for somewhere, he gives his beloved sleep. So how can you say that you can't sleep?
So
And
you're
I'm
not
like,
beloved.
okay, if I hadn't opened my mouth to say I was having a problem, maybe you wouldn't have said it. But we have no compassion. Or
Right.
it's like, I said this before, I think I've said this before on this slide, that when I had a health crisis and I went to speak to a person, oh, these doctors, they'll tell you something that you'll die before your time. Like, really? Really? You know?
Yeah.
Really? So it's like
They have no
it's just
compassion.
no,
Yeah.
there's no compassion. Like what you hear, right? And me too, I was somebody that when I become what I'm very passionate about the things of God. So I'm always there rushing to meet and do it. And when I don't go, then I'm getting heck. But people who don't go, they are okay. Like it got to a point I said, look, I'm very tired, I'm not sleeping well, I'm going to be that, I have to cut back. Just right after I did that, other people too started, you know,
Doing
slowing
the
down.
same.
And so it became a problem. But we need to understand people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. See, Missy says that. Ajo, I'll come to your comment later in the readings. Why? Our words and actions are supposed to build and lift others, especially in our churches, our leaders to be precise. Yeah. Like
And
you have to encourage people because we are all
yeah.
not at the same level. And what you might say to
Mm,
somebody might be the difference between them staying or not coming back.
Yeah.
You
absolutely.
put them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
put them off.
Yeah. They would use you in the next preaching, actually. And you would go
Yes.
and, oh, yeah, talking about you.
Yes.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So let's go on.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to the passage I read recently, Leviticus 13:45 to 46, the New King James Version. Now the leper on whom the sore is, his clothes shall be torn, and his head bare, and he shall cover his mustache and cry, Unclean, unclean. He shall be unclean all the days he has the sore. He shall no, he shall be unclean. All the days he has the sore, he shall be unclean. He is unclean, and he shall dwell alone. His dwelling shall be outside the camp. My only thought after reading this passage is this: What abject misery! What a life of loneliness, shame, and humiliation. A life full of despair and anguish.
Mm.
Okay, I think I can read the other one, the next
Yeah, you can read it.
paragraph too. Yeah. The reality, though, is that one does not have to go to a leper colony to see people living in isolation, cast off from society. There are people all around us suffering torment, the depths of which we cannot begin to fathom. It is in the school system. It is in the school system. Those individuals who are constantly tormented and bombarded with taunts by the school bullies and their posse. There are also people who are teased because of an illness or some form of physical deformity or abnormality, which is no fault of theirs.
I'll bring adjust. Oh,
Oh, I just so
let
many.
me.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see. I'm hiding. I have to fix this. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she says she was bullied by a particular
Male peer in
male
high
peer
school for
in
the
the
first years.
first 2 years when she migrated to US to join her parents after living with a certain abusive uncle who flogged me with no adequate means, was emotionally and psychologically. Look at that. Like you are a
Yeah.
young person, you're a young person, my parents are not here, and I'm living with you, and this is what you do to me, and yet you're supposed to be my family member. And then this,
Mm.
like people, it's, I don't know.
It's sad.
Hmm.
It's
It's
sad.
yeah, that makes me also think about how it's like normal for people to tease people, even with like the abnormalities, like
Hmm.
in Ghana, you know,
Oh,
people will imitate people with like
yes,
legs that don't work well, and it's
yes,
normal. Like
yeah.
when you think about it, I don't know what brings that on, like what makes it so normal for people to do that.
Our culture is such that we take things for granted. Uh,
Hmm.
I've had to have words with people who I don't know on Facebook before. And it was mainly because there was this video circulating on a group which is for women, African women on Facebook. And
Hmm.
the video was about these parents talking about their children.
Hmm.
They would say, who is the child who is clever? Then the parents are standing behind the children. They'll be pointing to, so they had about three, the first and the last. And every negative thing, question that was asked them, who's the naughtiest? They'll point to the middle child. Who's the dirtiest? They'll point to the middle child. And they kept on, yes. So yeah, this is something that parents had done. And the children were sat on a chair and they had closed their eyes, so they couldn't see who was being pointed at. And all the negative things they were going towards the middle child, and all the good things they were going towards the first and the last child. And this was circulating, and people were laughing.
No, no,
They thought it was funny. They would go, "Oh, that's the middle child syndrome. Oh, a middle child is always this, and a middle child." And the lady said, "Oh no, this is not good. I feel sorry for that child." And people started insulting her. Usually, I don't comment. So straight away, I said, "Oh, I'm with you, my sister." Then somebody went, "Oh, why are you so uptight? You need to loosen up." Oh, you should have seen me. You should have me rip into them. How dare you?
Yeah.
wow.
How dare you? And they go, "Well, you're not the parent. And if the parents think it's okay." And I said, "This is
It is not okay.
Not
it is
okay.
not
Yeah.
okay." That child is going to grow up and see that and start thinking, "I'm not
No,
loved."
grow up. I'm sure they'll see it even before.
How can you say such negative things about your own child and think it is okay? And for people, Ghanaians thinking it is fun and they are laughing and they are going, ha ha ha, oh, I'm a middle child and with the middle child syndrome. How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I was fuming. I was fuming. People think it is okay. For instance, if somebody is quite curvy and walking down the road, you hear people going, "Oh, Obolo."
Yes.
Obolo to say, "Oh, really?
Like, how dare you?
How dare you?"
Put a filter, like we just spew out, right?
Right. You
We
don't
give
care.
people names and we think it
Mm-hmm.
is acceptable. And we
Even
Yeah.
children, right? The obolo thing.
they will start when you are young.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you a name.
Wow.
Tigilingili.
Mm-hmm.
Now come here.
It is now me Becca.
And they think it's and the sad and the sad thing is it will be your family members, your aunties, your uncles, your
Mm-hmm.
who will start calling
This,
you the
yeah.
names at home, and
Mm-hmm.
they will call you the names when you go out. Then
Mm-hmm.
who will call you the names because that's what they've heard.
Right.
If
You
your
know?
close families will start for you,
Mm-hmm.
who would dare call you names? Because then they'll be going, don't you dare call that
Yes.
child name, and
Yes.
that will be the end of it. But they
Right.
Yes.
will start, say it out publicly for people to hear,
Mm-hmm.
join people, and they will laugh.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing wrong. And they
Wow.
will go loosen up.
There's a lady I know in the community, and she said this thing. She said, our mothers, she said she tries. She knows her children are not perfect, but she tries not to spew out on them in her anger because she said, our mothers, they spoke to us out of their pain. And I've watched enough of Amas shows to know these things that women, generations like our grandmothers, our mothers, there's things they didn't talk about or deal
Mhm.
with in the name of womanhood. So some
Mm.
of these things, you maybe your husband is frustrating you and the child or somebody is frustrating the child that looks like your husband. Oh, then you're saying nasty
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
And for me too, I find that like even myself, and when I say this, someone might say, "Oh, is this what you're saying?" But I've become very conscious of that because I feel that as a child growing up, like emotional support, like my parents were there. I always say that give them the respect that is due them. They did the best that they could do with what they had, and they did. They provided, they sent us to good schools, blah, blah, blah. But when you talk about emotional support, near there, we don't have, like, she won't back you up when you are, you know. And I've seen that. So for me, with my children, if I hear my mom say anything, or I always go to bat for them. I say, no, 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 this is not what it is. I stand up for them, no matter what.
Mhm.
I'm not going to allow it to happen a second generation time. So
Yeah.
I stick up for
Mhm.
them. If they are wrong, they are wrong. But if she's being unfair, oh golly, I will. Yeah, no, because no, no.
Yeah.
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 Because
Yeah.
her, right, in her mind, her siblings, her family of origin was more important to her than like her own children. That's how I see the dynamic. But I'm
Mm.
telling you that this is my family now. My children are more important to me than my siblings. My siblings are my siblings. I love them, but hey, if you don't respect me or whatever, my children are my husband and my family. So I have to defend them. You're not going to come and tell me something mean about my child and I'll stand there and look at you and agree with you.
No.
You need to explain yourself. If the person is in the wrong, of course, but no, I don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
We're not going to be bullied anymore.
No. No. No.
And
The
we
name
we also
calling.
forget that, yeah, it leaves a scar. Because I know
Yes.
someone who cannot she feels her legs are so tiny, but they are not really. And it's from
Oh,
childhood.
hold on. Hello, Pastor Patience.
Oh,
Welcome.
Pastor Patience.
Welcome. Pachokaso.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was saying that it leaves a scar and you carry it throughout life if you're not careful. Because she's very conscious of her
Oh.
legs,
Mm-hmm.
although
Mm-hmm.
it's not as bad as she thinks because it started
Mm-hmm.
from childhood. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
called her names.
Mm-hmm.
So it's imprinted in her mind and she's
Mm-hmm.
so conscious. It's like just ridiculous
Yes.
if you look at
Yes.
her, right?
Yes.
So,
I hear what you're saying, Aya, because me, Atema yedi oh na nanta. Like, so like, when did anybody create a human being
Oh my,
that you
yeah.
have to come and insult somebody? So what you were talking about, Ajua put her stuff up, like, the scars. These are the scars that happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
The malfunction treatment made me timid from age
Mm-hmm.
10 and a half. Oh,
Yeah.
through 19. Took some time
Yes.
for my parents to help me build
Mm-hmm.
my self-esteem, even with all the support from my parents when I joined them at 16 and a
Mm-hmm.
half. My bad experiences caused me to struggle in some areas up to my early 30s with anger management and limiting,
Yeah.
doubting my abilities. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is it
So,
I
right there.
agree.
It's very painful, and I don't even know. They inflict this on you. You see, when you talk about some of these things, like speaking for myself, when I talk about some of these things or the things you hear me say, somebody will say that, oh, you seem to hate your own culture. No, I don't. It's just that we need to speak the truth. What
yes.
Yeah.
what is working, we have to say is working. These are some of the things that happen to us. Like Ajo, I say, me, I got to be confident only when I came to this country.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember when I was in sixth form, this boy circled around me. You are too tall. At that time, what did I know? Who's building your
Yeah.
self-confidence or your self-esteem? But I
Yeah.
come here and then I realized that, oh, being tall is a
It's
nice
even
thing.
a, yeah.
And
Oh
someone
yeah.
and then I come here and then somebody will say, oh, you are beautiful. I'm like, oh, what are they talking about? Right? Because
Right.
Yes.
nobody will build you up. They don't, like, they
No.
provide for you, but the emotional thing is not everybody who is getting that.
Right.
So participation is also the deep wounds that most people are living with. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if and then you get to a point that you tell yourself, this is me. You take it or leave it. I'm owning myself. And then people
Right.
don't like it when you
Mm-hmm.
become like now I go back, I said that guy, he was short. He was shorter than yeah, he was shorter than I
Probably
am.
felt
He liked
intimidated by
me and he
you.
couldn't tell me. But I had to grow up to know this. I have to grow up to if I knew myself, I would have said at that time, oh, get away. What is wrong with being, you know,
Or you two
tall?
are short.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
No,
you
oh,
go
you're
and tell a
short.
man they are short. I bet shit no ewu.
Eh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
No,
Hmm.
no, no, no.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
very
Yeah.
painful. It's very,
It,
very
it, it,
painful.
it, it makes you timid because you lose
Mhm.
self-confidence.
Yes.
Right.
It
And
makes
a
you
lot of
lose
us are
confidence.
timid. A lot of us in
Yeah.
our society, we are not confident. We don't know who we are. And then,
Right.
so you go to places and they are doing some of these things, insulting. Look, I happen to watch, like me, I said, when I see these things on Facebook, I go and look a little and I'm listening. I'm like, am I really hearing what I'm hearing?
Hmm.
Oba na nim say yi na blah blah, the insult. I'm thinking, is that all we know? But see, the
Yep.
pain, we never worked on ourselves. There's so much pain
Mm-hmm.
and we're just inflicting it on
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
right?
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right.
No, Pastor
Yeah, we
Patience
don't.
says, I always thank my dad when I hear about these things. He emotionally built us and spiritually equipped us very well.
Oh,
Good for him,
lucky
Pastor
for
Patience. You are
you.
one of the lucky ones. We thank
Yes.
God. We thank God.
I think our culture too, we like the awareness of psychological things like effects on people is not there. Because I
Mhm,
remember just before I came in 2011 or so, I remember telling my ex-husband that
mhm,
I need to see someone and talk to them
mhm,
because I don't know, I just needed
mhm.
something. But he said, well, the only one I know is my friend, and I don't want you go telling him things. So, and that was it.
Yeah.
And in the previous, our previous reading too,
Thank you, Pastor Patience.
you
Thank
remember
you.
how I told you that,
Mhm,
like my dad dying, like really
mhm,
affected me, but I didn't
mhm,
know till my late 30s. That was
mhm,
when I actually felt
mhm,
the weight of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. Maybe one of my missions will be to help children who lose their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the future, that will be one of my causes.
Not the
Because
future.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, not
That
the
would be
future.
lovely. Yeah,
In the
we have
very
to.
near,
near
not future.
future, yeah, not
Yeah.
Yeah,
far
in
ahead
term,
future,
not
but
to
yeah,
not
As
near future
think
because
about it. Start thinking about it and doing
yeah.
it.
as for my trauma that had to do with
Gosh.
dying, I
Who?
will have to my trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
viewers, yeah, yeah, also is my sister. I failed to mention that.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on. Let me.
So when we say
Um.
our dad, is the same dad.
it's the same dad. Yes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Somehow, no, I thought it was a cousin. Okay, okay,
No, no, no,
okay,
no, no. We are
okay,
sisters.
I'm the
okay.
firstborn, she's the secondborn.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay. Good, good. Got it.
Um.
Um,
As for my trauma, it will
Mm-hmm.
probably have to. It will take another day. It will
Mm-hmm.
probably session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
to struggle
Mm-hmm.
go a lot emotionally, and
Mm-hmm.
I would say, oh, do you want to read this so that we can?
Okay, Adjoado says it's very bad
Okay.
and sad that some family members mistreat, inflict pains on children left in their care due to dysfunctional mindsets or so-called culture. I like that so-called, the
so cool.
foolishness and stupid
That's what I was laughing
disciplinary
at.
method. Adjoado on pen nonsense. The foolishness and stupid
I like it.
disciplinary method that do not produce any productive lessons besides being traumatized. Yeah, all we know is punishment and pain.
Ah,
Just
Yes.
yeah. It's sad. It's sad. I mean,
just pain, causing pain to people,
yeah.
pain.
And we
Mm,
don't know that it has an effect. And when
mm.
people complain, other people go, "Oh well, but that's the same training I went through, and we turned out well." Really?
Yeah, okay.
Have you
That
turned
was
out
us.
well?
Yeah, but you can't be
Really?
doing
Yeah.
it here or to your children.
You've
They'll come
oh,
and take them from you. Too sweet. So find other measures, other methods of dealing with your children.
because if you turned out well, you will not be doing the same thing to your child, would you?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
did you really turn
Mhm.
out well? No, you didn't. You did not. So those who don't see anything wrong with them go, oh, it's the same thing we turned out.
Mhm.
So it is okay to just humiliate your child. And oh my goodness, some people even do it and they video it and they think it's
It's
acceptable.
now, Sister Ajua. Is she?
Fine.
Pastor Patience, only Yana Kasa na Ajua.
Olivia.
I know what you said you want
Speak
to
it
do, no?
into
Yeah,
existence.
yeah. Start now.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
Jamaica said,
Start that course.
don't delay. Yeah,
That's
don't
true.
delay. You don't have
Thank
tomorrow. Do
you.
it now.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Hey, Unim, you know what language we are speaking?
Mm.
Unlimited.
Ah, Sister Joa, I support you. It is useless punishment. It's not productive and it
No,
doesn't help the children in
no, no,
any way whatsoever.
no, no.
Seriously, I think that the ministry of what ministry is it? Welfare, women and welfare. That particular ministry is not. Should I say they've not come out to do their work really well in Ghana.
Mm.
I'm sorry, I've said it.
What were you expecting them to do again? Hey, please explain.
Well, for starters,
Hmm.
ab- the abuse of children, they don't have a proper system in the country to say that if a child is abused, we need to go and find out what is the cause of the abuse. Is there any
Hmm.
we can give to the parents? Are the parents traumatized? How can we help the family? There's no
Hmm.
support whatsoever. You hear of things that happen on TV, on radio, or video circulating, and that
Hmm.
is will come in. And even with that, people will start talking about why has this person not been brought to justice because this person has abused a child. That is when they step in. That is when nothing is done whatsoever. Nothing. And even when you go and say, people would go, but it's my child. I have the right to do whatever I like. So it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It would take a lot to break that cycle. It's a cycle.
Did you hear about the man who beat his child, or the baby shushu akolanechi tutu or something? It was so bad.
Mm. And what had the child done?
How angry can you get that you hate? Walk away. Walk away. Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Okay.
I can't think far. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I tell you.
you see, like some of this, what my other comment that I wanted to throw in when we're talking about people getting teased because of illnesses and physical deformity. Look at how the physically challenged, people with, I don't know what the official or, the political correct name we talk, but this system, the system in which we are, look at how they get taken care of. There's resources, they are in their wheelchairs, they have aids, they have this and that. They are not made to feel like they are some, not part of society or something you should put out of sight. And look at our mindset. Even at work, there's things that like even most buildings, you have to make sure that
it's accessible. Yeah.
Yeah, you have ramps
yes.
there.
Pastor Patient said it's just a name, or they don't do any work. That was it. And no, bam, 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 waka. See, look at this. I lost count of ink. He flogged, belittled me with his head, and from.
His sick ego.
I can imagine.
The things that we go through, no, if we said you have a cunning now, will sit here, it's so sad. And they scar you for life.
They do.
And then if you're not, like Ajua has taken the time to work on herself, there's lots of us running around who are not working on themselves, and you find them on those platforms insulting each other and or digging out dirt on people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. It's sad when there's bullying and there's outcast and there's rejection. It causes you to isolate yourself. That's when my personal experience, I have cut away
Who's this?
a lot of people. I've cut away a lot of people, and I've decided there's a phase in my life where I do not bother to remember. I do not bother to remember at all. A block about 3 years where you might ask me, and it's, I don't know, psychological. You might ask me, "Oh, do you remember that school? Do you remember that person?" And I sit down and I go, "I don't remember," because psychologically I decided I do not want to.
Blocked it out. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I have forgotten everything. Everything. I have a very good friend who will sometimes go, "Oh, do you remember this person?" I go, genuinely, I do not, because I decided I do not want to remember. And that trauma is real. People will not know. You don't want to.
Real.
It's gone.
Yes, Missy says it is sad, but these people are broken and tend to do same to and on others. That is so true. Because they can't, it's out of their pain. They just lash out at people.
Yeah.
Oh, here's an Abner. I lived with my auntie for some years growing up. The husband abused her emotional and physical. I had my own physical. Look at that. Yeah.
I have a question, oh. Sorry, oh. This might be a bit radical. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but for me, I usually mind now and I'm free. If you are in a relationship and you're being emotional and physical abused, you shouldn't you shouldn't let society dictate to you and start thinking, oh, because, and I've seen this a lot. Married women in relationships complain from being physically abused. and they are staying just because other people are saying, oh, well, your mom or your grandparents were in relationships like that. Men are like that. So take it like that. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. You will be
Hey,
fine.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me stop you right there. Yesterday I woke up and one of the first posts when I went on Facebook or in the morning sometime is um this man Ferdinand Senyo Lawson. He's an author, and he had posted something about a woman who had been killed by her husband, and they left 4 children. He went into detail. It's like I put it on my wall because that issue, and you are saying radical, this is stuff we have to talk about. You're not being
Yeah.
radical, it's bang on. So I posted it and I said, a must read, live and save your life.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
he
saw
was
that post.
he told them, he said that in his comments, he said that, you know what, when you go to the church and then they are telling you, the church is telling you, stay, this, that, is that what will help you? What is going to happen to your 4 children? What is going to
Yeah.
happen? Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
also the fear of being an outcast, because
Yes.
you've been into a
Yeah.
marriage and you're
Yeah.
out. They always blame you even before they hear
Yeah.
the actual cause of it all. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they
It's
would rather die than be
mhm.
divorced because
So
of the
Seriously,
Mrs. At
tag.
hey, if I have a child in that situation, I would,
mhm,
you know what, I would get a truck and drive
mhm,
myself to that house, put her
mhm.
things in the truck, and put her herself in the truck, and drive her.
No, no,
Hmm.
no,
That's the most
no.
foolish thing
It's
that goes on. Yeah.
it's like you have to. It's just the way we've been conditioned. I always say that, women,
Yeah.
because I have a family member who made this statement that, oh, me, I don't, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a woman, or you can be the chief justice or whatever, your office is in the kitchen. So when you have people with these kinds of
Wow.
mindsets, yeah, with these kinds of mindsets, and the women are groomed like all your life, you're groomed to, oh, marriage, it doesn't
Mm.
matter. So look at what is happening in the society right now.
Oh yeah.
Women think that they just have to use their tonga to get whatever they
Yeah.
need. It's not about what's up here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
this here, you have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use it. There's something you can do. You can do. And you see, if what I'm going to say is, no matter how you were brought up, when you get to a certain age, you are an adult and you can think for yourself. What is lacking in my life? What can I do to change it?
You know. Oh, uh, thank you.
What
The
do you?
message I have.
Aisha.
Yes, thank you. It's true. Yes, that's what Mr. Lawson said. He said they are not like, go and seek help. It's okay to go seek professional help. Stop this
Right.
kakasumwemwaso. And then you see, how do they put it? It's Mabna on here. How did she put it? It said outside gentility, inside cry or
Oh,
something.
home cry.
Mm.
So I said it all week in my ministry, pray for our men children. Yeah. So, oh no.
Oh,
It's
wow.
hard. It's hard. You know what? I think there is a scripture in the Bible that people don't actually
Mhm,
understand.
mhm.
And the scripture says, love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, the
Yourself.
basic
Okay,
foundation.
so
Thank you.
that what people tend to do is, oh, I love my neighbor. So when I see you, I'll say I love you and get on with it. If you love your neighbor, you won't call your neighbor names.
Yes.
If you love your neighbor, you won't bully them. You won't reject them.
Yeah.
That
Love yourself.
my
Hmm.
neighbor doesn't come to my church, so I won't love my neighbor. Eh,
Hmm.
me, if you are Buddhist, I'll eat your food. If you're Muslim, I'll eat your food. If you're Hindu, I
Hey,
don't care. Nothing will
you
happen
didn't
to me.
read you didn't read Romans 14?
Oh, I'll eat it. Now, the second part of that
Mhm.
scripture, the second
Mhm.
part of the scripture that people forget is ask yourself.
Yourself.
That's yourself, yes.
Where's Ajua? Ajua always talks about self-care.
Self.
Love your neighbor as yourself. It starts from you.
You
Yeah.
do not love yourself. If you love yourself, you won't sit there,
Mm-hmm.
be abused. Yeah, I will speak up. I will speak up. Nowadays,
Oh, yep.
I do.
No holds barred. The any
Mm,
petty fair do it there. Uh-huh.
mm. And I tell my children, I said, don't let anybody put you down.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Speak up. Love your neighbor as yourself. You don't go about feeling down and feeling rejected and isolated. Me, if you don't, you won't talk to me. I don't care.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love myself. I make myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You need to honor yourself, because if it's you are coming to the table and it's you that you are bringing to the table, so if you are not putting value on yourself, nobody is going to respect you either, and
You know
they'll
what?
bully you.
And that is even the main.
But the person say, hey, love your neighbor, is not eating their
It's in
food.
the
Oh. Yeah, what? Be very careful.
You know what? I was waiting for Pastor Patience to say something. I knew she would say something. If she hadn't said something, I would have been disappointed. Pastor, I beg. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I hear you, Pastor. I hear you. I hear
Yes.
you.
Yes. If one sees the red flags, we need to bear in mind we cannot change anybody. Yes.
It's true.
Some
True.
people saw the red flags before they got
Even
into the
before
relationship,
marriage.
but they went
Yep.
into it.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And it's all
So,
the tags. You need to be
yes.
It's
married
just
to
us
be
two.
valued. So
Hmm.
they get into it and then they
Hmm.
can't come out either.
And they
And
keep asking,
it's
when
true.
are
And
you going to get married? When
Yes.
are you going to get married? And some lady said, ask them, when are you going to die? So I said this before, remember?
What?
Like, Tembia, when are you going to get married? Leave people
So when
alone.
are you going to die? The other time I told them about it was Sewa's wedding, the Sunday that the pastor said, oh, don't worry. Meanwhile, I haven't told you that I'm sad or
Mhm.
anything. Don't worry, your time will come. So
Oh,
I was like this. What? He said, your time will come. Okay.
ah,
I wasn't even thinking about marriage then.
oh no. They put things into your head. They feed
yes.
Right.
ideas into
Right.
your head, and it makes you start thinking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if by then I didn't have like I didn't believe in whatever I was doing before, then I'll
Hmm.
start doubting myself. Hey,
Hmm.
okay, so does this mean I'm less of a person? You know, your
Because you're
little
not
sister
married.
got married before. Yeah,
Mhm.
you
Oh,
did.
but you know, I always wanted to get married early.
I know, and I told you could go ahead because I wasn't ready at all.
I started talking about this when I was 6 years. I set a date, a time for my marriage, and I did. So it was something that we talked about, and it was normal. But they don't know.
Yeah, they don't
Ah,
know.
Oh.
Okay,
ah, ah,
okay.
ah,
So
ah.
let's go on, guys.
Okay, I'll put a Joy's comment on after. Hmm.
Okay. So there are others too that people just love to hate for no reason at all. Unfortunately, one may not be mature enough to realize that those individuals may be treating one this way because of their own perceived insecurities. I wish I had known this fact early on and spared myself a whole lot of heartache.
Mm,
No,
That
see,
is so true.
mm,
people are very people project their stuff onto you, their
Mhm.
insecurities and whatever. And so somebody in particular is just loving to hate you. And if you don't know yourself, you don't love yourself, then you think, oh, how come this? And it becomes a problem for
Right.
you. Or even that example that I gave about that boy
That
saying that
boy,
I'm too,
yeah,
it's his problem, not mine. At the
mm.
he
time I
feels
didn't know.
short.
I'm like, oh, look at you, intimidated, right?
Yes,
So yeah.
yes, yes,
So
yeah. Yeah, I experienced that in 2005. I came back from the States to Ghana. I went back to Ghana and I had to start all over again. So I got this job at a bank. And the very first day I got there, the manager just did not like me, even before I started work. So I just conditioned my mind. When I come, I do my job, I go home.
Get out.
Yes, I'm not going to be smiling. If I see you, I'll greet you, and that's it. Yeah.
Enough of
I'm
that.
not here to be friends. Yeah.
Oh,
And eventually she left, and yeah, it's just sad, just because, well, I guess just because I was dressed a certain way. That's what I was told later by the other females in the branch. Like when you dress a certain way, then she starts hating on you because she dresses a different way.
take her clothes shopping.
What has
She
that
needs
got
a
to
She's
do
getting
with?
more money than I am.
she needs a
It's not
wardrobe
like she
change.
doesn't.
Then she will stop. If she starts, she will stop her nonsense.
Yeah.
Ah,
So that's
Okay.
just
oh,
hating for no reason at all.
I have a few comments here, so let's look at it before you
Okay.
carry on.
Okay. All right.
So Ya says, Ajua says,
Mm-hmm.
I know and came to a clear understanding that 10 years ago, or came to a clear understanding of that. Okay, however, it still does not justify for anyone to treat another human being in such manner because they are conditioned in such way. I'm a living testimony in learning to reprogram to care, love, support, give when needed for others, build my self-confidence, role model, and practice self-care. This is the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Some people are yet to get to where you are, Jua. That's the
mm,
sad
Yes.
thing. And then
mm,
Pastor Patience says, live for yourself and not anyone. Don't die in an abusive person's hand. If you can't run from them, walk out. I would
Right.
say run. Don't look to the left or to just run.
mm.
Right.
Enough.
Right.
And then Aisha says, thank God marriage will not take us to heaven. Tell us about it. Yes. Tell us. What is all the fuss about? You know?
And there
You know
will
what?
even be no marriages in heaven, it says.
Yes.
So what's
Do you
the
know?
problem?
I liked what Pastor Patience said that if you can't run, just walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I saw something on Facebook and it was, I don't know whether it's true, whether it's authentic, but
Mm-hmm.
something to do with transportation in the UK. So it's transport for London or
Mm-hmm.
overground trains. And they
Mm-hmm.
said if you are in an abusive relationship and you are running away from home and you do not have money for transport, speak to the conductor. They will give you a ticket and you can travel and they will put it on the system. So they've made it in such a way that even if you don't have money on you, you can leave.
Still leave. Wow, that's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
saw it. I should have taken a snapshot of it. It made
Mm-hmm.
me so happy. And also I've seen others around where you could easily call.
Mm-hmm.
They would give you something like you can easily say something and straight away everybody they would know.
Yeah, they have codes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, a
Yeah.
code, yeah, yeah,
And they will come get you.
yeah.
But hereby in our country, you go home and you'll be
They'll
told
send you back.
go back to your
No,
husband.
Ubegu Abusian anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You come and pick a dead body up.
Yeah.
Is that what you
They
want?
prepare that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they love funerals, so
Mm.
Yes. A lot of family members and other people have mental illness. Yep. Pure evil, jealousy, envious, wicked, which are the cause of enablement. Excuses, reasons. Oh, I love Ajua. Ajua, I love you, Kwa.
so much nonsense.
Blaming game, so much nonsense.
Those are
It
the
is
mental
true.
illnesses.
It is true. And so, yeah, Kahwa they don't want to go there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
I just said, wow, amazing. I think she was talking to somebody. And then Missy says, fly if you can. To what part? Pastor Patient, yeah, to make two
True.
free. Or
Sure. Mm.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure why we are.
I've seen comedians making jokes about black people not accepting mental illness. We do not see it as
Mhm.
people they people laugh about it, but it's no joke. Seriously.
It is not.
A black person would not accept the fact that they've got a mental illness.
Yes.
No.
That probably it
Hmm.
means that they've gone out of their mind.
Yes. You know something? I'll tell you something. I will put it out there. There was a time a few years ago, it was 2016, I had a family member who was going through some serious health, mental crisis. And it was a Sunday, and I was in church. And I was supposed to travel to Fort McMurray that afternoon. So I approached my pastor and I told him, because I was very stressed out, chatting about it, talking about it. Do you know that to this day, as I'm sitting here looking at the two of you and speaking to you, he never came back to ask, how are
What
you
happened
doing?
with it?
How is that person? Nothing. So we don't talk, we don't address it, okay? But I'll tell you this, in Life Church where I am right now, when this COVID thing came up, they started doing a Zoom class on mental health. And I said, oh, I'm curious to go hear what it's about. So they are teaching from a book, something that I think some church or organization has put a package together. They were teaching on it, but I dropped out because like at that point in time, I think we had been told to start working full time at work. And then when I went on, it was Tuesday evenings at, I think it was 6 to 7 or 7 to 8. And I found that I was too tired. So I bowed out of it. Why I'm saying this is that Abrofono, they have systems and the system works. And they said it's time the church should talk about this.
Right.
But you see, when I say culture versus faith, you are hearing me now. This is a church where you have a need, but the culture kicks in. Oh, taboo, mental idea. We don't talk about it. Let you know. But up to now, so I was in this church. I was paying tithes. I was doing whatever. But when I was in need, there they couldn't say, hey, can we help you? What happened? Nothing. To this day. To this day.
Do you know, sir, I joined the church 5 years ago, but it's quite far from where I live. I realized that they have a branch in the town that I live in. So I had to go to the branch that's in my town. Originally, I had registered with the other church in the other town. So they have my details. During the COVID, even though I don't go there, they write to me, they send me cards. They were having, even well, when the lockdown, when they lifted restrictions, they've done barbecues. They email me recipes for cooking, for baking. They've got football clubs where they come in and they do. They've got all of these together because they know that you are at home on your own. For whatever reason, anything could be happening to you, but if to you, send you a card, email you just to check on you because they can't come. And I've for the past 5 years, and they decided to probably go through their system and see whoever's contact details they have, regardless of whether you come or not,
Right.
to write to you. Yeah. We'll still write to you. And they're still doing that.
That's very good.
Yeah. And actually, in our schools in the UK here, and funny enough, I'm a mental health lead in my school. So I take it quite seriously. We buy books for the children. In every class, we buy books about day thinking. It is okay if your tummy hurts and you're feeling anxious, because we have to give them those pointers to do. Why are you feeling that way? What is the problem? Why do you have a buzz in your head?
Emotional intelligence.
Oh,
hello, Awo.
We have books.
Welcome.
You teaching.
Yeah.
I will be cool.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh, we have books to help the children identify their feelings and see how they can solve it. They don't become timid and live with it. It's there.
Yes, it's the stigma. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are not doing it. We are not helping ourselves.
No. It's Aisha, you're bang on. We're not. Yep. And then Ajoado says most of the people in society know to do is some everything and leave their mental health family in churches instead of bringing them to
yes.
yes, everything is spiritual. Spiritual. It is true. Pastor Patience said, my dad will tell every man that comes to carry one of his daughters that if you abuse my daughters, you have to bring the president and Asantini to perform sevenfold bride price again and
Good.
sign a declaration vow. And no, I liked him.
Yeah.
And a woman request says, I see my beautiful, intelligent women dropping gold nuggets. More.
Thank you.
Oh,
No.
I mean, before that, I think Auntie Adra said something about orphans.
Yes, I'll find it here. Sadly, most orphans back home do not have the options to leave the unhealthy environment or homes.
Oh,
This is the thing.
it breaks my
They
heart.
don't feel empowered. Yeah, it's true.
It breaks my heart so much. Because the
They
thing
have a
is,
lot of work to do.
who is in charge? Who's overseeing it? Even if they set up a charity now and I'm supposed to send money or anything to go there,
Will it go?
No.
they will not. They
No.
will not use the money. It breaks my heart so much.
That's right. What a great father. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, SMP keke.
Hmm? 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 Hmm?
Any more
Sad.
comments on there?
No.
Okay. So let's go on then.
Yes.
Okay. The most painful rejection of all happens in the churches. Why? Because the church is the place that people run to, seeking the love of Christ. Trust me, it can be quite painful when people use you and cast you aside once you have served your purpose and they no longer have any use for you. It is very difficult to recover from such wounds, but God is merciful. Now that I have become more discerning, I am able to tell when people change their attitude towards me. At that point in time, I just quietly distance myself.
Hmm.
The best
Yeah.
way to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You keep your sanity and your respect anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we gave a lot of the examples, like church is the
Right.
place where we're supposed to exhibit love, and yet you go there and all kinds of things are going on. I mean,
Yeah.
I accept that we are still human, but we're supposed to be growing,
Right.
becoming more, growing to become more Christ-like, but we don't change. And these behaviors, backbiting, gossiping, hating people, even the leaders pick whom they love and whom they don't love.
Yeah.
And,
Hmm.
Missy said, bam,
Bam,
bam, bam.
bam, bam.
It's
Yeah.
true.
So
Yeah.
the church,
And and the sad thing is, if you, it's sad though, if you, if they see you that you are of a certain, say, caliber, you
Okay.
have a
I
special
have to take my
seat in
just a minute,
church.
please.
come again.
Just a minute.
Okay.
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 You,
Carry on, yeah.
you will have a special seat in church. A
Mm-hmm.
special seat reserved for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll be overlooked if you come in and you can't pay more money.
Yes.
Show that you are wealthy enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Oba, sorry, them now, why you fear?
Hey,
Like how they'll treat you.
nobody would want to sit next to you.
Yes. Yes. Or even show any love or anything to
Mm.
you.
Yeah.
And it's the people who pay who get. And they can pay and be doing all kinds of things, but it's okay. We don't look at that, right?
Yeah.
So we don't look
Sad.
at that. Hmm.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people we are talking about it. See, we are speaking about it, but there's a lot of people who've gone through church hurt, and they've walked away.
Mm.
I thank you. I have gone through it, and thankfully, I'm still standing because Miobia, no matter what I say, that my faith is something that you can't take away from me. But what about the others? And we're so groomed in this our cultural way that you have to get out of it to understand. Like for me right now, as I sit here, if I don't go to church today, it does not mean that I've stopped worshiping God. And you can't come and judge me that I've backslidden.
Oh,
God has given me wisdom. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe today I just feel like I need to rest. It doesn't mean that during the week I'm not praying or I'm not reading my Bible. And even still, I don't have to come and prove anything to you. It's in
absolutely not.
between me and my God. Nyamesoma is not something that we are putting a shoe on for others to see. It's about you and your relationship with God. And how many of us have focused on that? We do a lot of eye service. Yeah, yeah, if you kind of say there's a lot
Yeah.
of eye services in our churches. Yeah, bani be bribri myself one in pennyphone anymore. Oh, that one on there, or your holy or your Christian name mappa.
Yeah.
You know, thank you. I was like, no, no, no. It's just not. We don't know. We don't know. You see, like I go back to the comment you made, yeah, that or say so that you learn or
Yeah.
something. We
Yeah.
Mm.
take we take the Bible, if this is the Bible, and we knock people over the head with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
No
Yes.
door. What you say,
Mm.
but love. Look, go to 1 Corinthians 13. You know, yes, you do. If you don't have love, you become a clanging symbol. We don't have any love. We don't. We pretend
Yeah.
to till you upset somebody, and then there's no love for you.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it's the very foundation of what we believe in. Are you please increase
we
them?
don't have any love.
Also, it's true. It is very true.
But it's okay. Mrs. said we have to know that we make the church. Well, Miss,
We.
we don't know that because I said, "Ma, sorry, my doctrine." Well, we
Mhm.
are sorry, no. I sorry, we're saying yeah. I sorry, we're saying yeah. We're saying yeah. It's we become so caught up in the that we've forgotten the individuals. No, just come and follow the
Mm,
doctrine. So we're all looking at the doctrine instead of practicing the basic tenets or the kind of saying of Christianity: love each other, love one another. You
Yes.
know,
yes. Do good unto others.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And if other people do good to you, you accept it. Me, I will. Pastor Patience, is it Pastor Patience, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Pastor Patience has said the food, so I won't say the food again. I was going to be good. Yeah, I was just
Oh, there, Casa. Finish your point. I'll bring it up when you finish your point.
What's through?
be Pastor Patience. Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Okay. Until Ajwa say many churchgoers are worshiping mere humans, which limit them from acquiring the wisdom of the word of God. They
Mm,
are blindly crippled and lack emotional intelligence. Yeah,
yeah.
there's some nipa, right? Yes, some
Mhm.
nipa. Look,
Mhm.
I heard this man of God. I think it's Apostle. Yeah, in fact, the lab crowd we don't understand. Apostle Nanaje, Apostle Nanaje, who was doing a preaching. I forget what the topic was, but it was mainly about don't call anybody your spiritual father. I
Yes.
didn't I didn't listen to it from the beginning. I mean, and it was an eye opener. Or see, if you go and kneel under somebody and say, "Oh, be my spiritual father," you've taken God's authority
God is, yeah,
away. Yeah, if you
He
don't
is your
have a
spiritual
spiritual
father.
father, no munjai.
Good. But
Mm,
you said, no, baby, cry for sending me. I will
okay.
love.
Mm,
To listen to it.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh no, no.
Mm.
people.
We have to think. Mental faculty nyame ma yɛ adwene. What you say? Nti sɛ wodwene na wopɛ sɛ ɔsom nyame, ɛdɛn na onipa da sɛ ni kɔka kyerɛ wo sɛ go and chew grass and you run outside and you are chewing
And
grass.
do
Oh,
that.
Nti no, like
devil.
as a before, it seems like our mentality, it's like, are we so like, what is wrong with our mentality?
We want quick
Yeah.
things. We don't
Yes.
want to work hard. We don't want to use our brains to progress. So our brains now are stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
We are not progressing at all. The brain is so big. It's bigger
Oh
than
yeah, Sister Wo says she remembers that. Yeah. It was
it's
powerful.
so
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
so big, sir. We don't use it. So actually
Mhm.
These things and move on. We are not using it at all.
Mhm.
Because me, catch us no petrol. Me no.
Yeah.
Any petrol to wine. What's of no captain in the area?
Mhm.
No,
Thank you. Alethea says we have to get in the word of God. Bam.
You
You are
do.
so
the main
right.
thing. Yeah.
Lack of knowledge. We don't know the word.
And do you know what? The funny thing is, if you look at all the world systems,
Mhm.
rules and regulations in the world that we use policies, building
Mhm.
the foundation is from the Bible.
Mhm.
The foundation. Do you know? I didn't even know this until I had a
Sorry, yeah.
radio.
Harmonize.
I love my
Huh?
daughter says no spiritual father. That's all. And no, I don't know.
Finish.
All
Kawasa. Mhm.
all those policies are built on the Bible. I
Mhm.
didn't realize until there was a radio program I was listening to, and they were talking about paying tithe. And this is a secular radio, and they didn't even relate it to God. For
Mhm.
it's like, oh, we think this celebrity is stingy because the person doesn't support a charity. And I've seen celebrities in the UK supporting charities across. They might not take the whole tenth of the money and give it to one charity. What they do is they will take the tenth and split the money into probably five, send it to five charity groups and send the money out. And to them, they've paid their tithes. And these people are not religious.
I've put the link in. Why, Patrol?
These people are not religious, but they are basing all those principles on the word of God. And people sit there and they go, oh, me who need we as a phone come anymore. We as a phone, come in because principles now Bible no matter when you say no. That is
Mhm.
what they used. They've used it and they will continue to go. Now
Yes.
they Bible, don't read it and go and eat grass, and
Mhm.
petrol.
Yeah. Asem no awoka no. Obi can be was sorry there be or say. Menkae sɛ whether it was United World Christmas time ɔne adwuma mu na ɔne nkurɔfoɔ papa bi na na ɔkɔ aborɔfo yi ɔsɛ obi a ɔnsom nyame nso wayere ne ho doing this
Sure. Almost
charity.
two.
Hello.
Shia will be I'm a
Good
single
evening. Good evening. Good evening.
God. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I can see all the Deborahs. I can see the Esthers. I can
Yay.
see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a blast we are having. I'm actually enjoying every bit of it. So
Good. Good. Thank
just need to
God.
add a little pinch of salt to all that you said. I wasn't here when it all started, but
Okay.
from my point of view, a few that I've come to, the conclusion I've come to.
Sure.
See, if only people will take the word of God, soak themselves in the word, at this time that we are in, it is a personal thing. It is not about some going to sit behind some curtains, then pouring your heart out to that person before he carries to God anymore. It is about you having sonship, ownership of Christ to
Yes.
yourself.
Amen.
That is why we can call him Abba Father.
Yes.
So if you are not in that point where you can approach the grace throne yourself, you are doomed.
Yes.
Because listen, everybody, I was just coming from one platform and I was telling people that, listen, everybody after this COVID, or before even this COVID, from this season going, everybody have something he or she is going through. So the world is so wicked that it has become such wicked that even your own pastor is going through something. And if you are not careful, you might think that because I'm not rich, I'm being neglected. No, the pastor himself or herself is also going through something. You have no idea. The world is running in a pace that is faster. It's a call with the speed, and everybody is trying to grab as much as it can, or also carrying BB. So listen, formerly a church used to be where we to make the how you know and then and this you say each COVID when we saw of penny share them, one social them. Osha na we ye ene sha dem na elder na wo kire ne ho ne so sha dem na wo so so kura wo ye pew wo ti sam ya ye tena pew so wo so sha dem enti ye nyina ya bo me de wa ni si bibi so ama wa fa wa nya nkwa nkobu se e was here ba me special treatment because I have arrived. Because it is so difficult for some people themselves. And those who are at the top are even feeling the pinch. Why? Because it is lonely at the top. At the top there, everybody is expecting everything from you. And just imagine, I always tell people, look at the church. Pastor Patient will be the right person to explain. Oh, you're suffering. You are a leader, just as Moses. Every weapon, at a point, the man was frustrated. They are ordained by God. Now, and Tibisa who said, and nemre mua, where would him say we are CDM decay, where who yami amount who was for no corner can John 3:16. One walking in us, I say, well, Banagirati, now what the big now one. Or so one we are be a son of honor or no one in him.
Yes.
Deliverance be a quiet ya who fear by ya will go to ye be a tata or so one will fear. And young tunko yan so hot. And as much as we want the church to be very empathetic to us, you too, the leadership of the church be empathetic to them because they carry their own cross. Free baby.
Oh.
Oh.
Say attack be fear bar a ball no can answer. I told you I sorry my young at that angle no. Bribi e ba bebo asori na edi kan bo she Bible say obi ntumi nkọ ohodinfo ni fie nkọfa bribi agese wa chekere na ansa enti ohodinfo no owotumi say ansa no be penetrate to the church no age ne mind na wo hu ni nyinara won wa wo pillars ni nyinara wa dwere won. And if you are looking at this dispensation me say de ye ti kura e be ye kakra no. So for penny be pa wo do wura hye ni mu na wo fo se no hore ma asem da no ne ho beba asem ama na shock you. Why? Because it was say obonefo ne attack sa ankrofo ni nyina na otimi penetrate to the church. After all, who is the church? Se unya tisa at the binasia ema wadi da so se me kwa masofo aye bribi ana system na ye bribi ana obi aye bribi ansa na ye bribi ne ebe free ho. Me long time ago, na people say it is not about Jodi Asori anymore. It is not about the brand of the church. It is not a Asori way, the Asori way. Asori nankasa ye me na me yo nyame Asori dan. And how do I want onyame Asori dan to look like? O start say wo ye wo hu adwuma saa. Afa wo free saa gina bia no kogina bia fofora. Obi gina bia bia na nka enkan no wo mu a. One pentam say ubebu no for anasa ubebu na ten na mom udi nyame dobeka say me bon paye se me nwa beti nyame ase yi enti omo wonwum bia omoto erade buemani wa mami hu yiye mami hu umre mu anwanwate enti bu wa me mami so yiye wo wo fra adwuma wo odofo e wo se ye hu nyame yi ye ti na se yi a eno na se osof mama patient tia me nan so a metumi ka kire me ho se ebia na saada me nua no kra no na bribi foforo ekoso menwene se chinchina achi ape na won pemasem tie o tia ha no aha na asem no wo no a kristo ni pese no nyonku etiriti ni yie na so no ankasa mu no hia na ontimi kura mi sa na saada na me nua wanya mi sei enti ye tietia ye ho konso e na ye dwen se ye obi na wo se oye bribi ansa da bi o na se me na me di kan ya asore dan ne dia e wo se ma abre nyina me hwe se onyame asore bedwo me kɔ baabi na sakasaka ye wo ho a nyame sura etumi mu no e wo se me ma asomdue prevail. When I go somewhere and there is chaos, my presence should calm the storms. And yet, ohona me koyi tutujagum, me na me kwa debi. A lot of us are yet ye can be no yamia so yase, and maybe Reverend Wusu answer, I can't say be. Or so what will say, so one years, one hour can one cast one once a man will be a PF, sorry, them. The way I will yet one year, Manu PF, sorry, them was said your can't sorry no one seminal, because here that was some but now sorry, I sorry them who crona, sister one elbow who be you. Set on pulse of mammy patient as some. na wo kɔ na asɔre ugusu di n'akyi na wo didi na tam wo wutiri mu a sister wa na wo ha wo hu wo na wo bɔ ho dua because yeti obonsam so now obonsam ba na wuti ya no so obonsam is looking at you, he says I don't even know your address, you I don't even know you wa na ado ho aba wa hu enti subane ni yo ne bi wo ho a wo na wo ya asɔre no dien na wo portray dien na wo de kire wiase dien pa su na ban na wo de kire wiase ho enti se ye nyina ye start ye kane ama ye ho a wo bo hu se we so kakra a little here a little there me so me kane ane kakra na ante ya so ne de kakra ti se me ba so yi e wo ne papa mpa a Kristo ni bi wo ho a wo free Methodist wo hu press before ya de a wo mfa ho na Pentecost mu a se apostolic vo enso se ye nyina ye honama kwa ba akode a ene na enant be me kan kire ho ne se ehune wo ya no stress mu free nsu nti me pe wasem ene ni nsu tire nka se me mpa aso asem because ye nyina na come together ene frɛ ye Christopher enti the of my patient ya frɛ no wo mu no me nyu ho kwan se mebu na tan wo ho because nyame no so wo frɛ no kro frɛ no na me ni ho na mmom se me hu ne se so long as ye nyina ye bo nyame din it doesn't matter so ye Methodist ni or ye Roman ni or ye Anglican ni or ye Presby ni na mmom ye Kristo nti e wo se me di Kristo dodo and of my patient e ma brabo ni ye easy ena ebi aye motofo a me kasa ebi ye babies sa na asori dem mutie asori dem akwa se ye nyina ye wo yade ebi wo ye ho ebi die ye ntro ebi die ye adwaman ebi die ye krono ebi die ye chese amodin bi enso wo ho obi wo ho anan die bi wo ho ye bribi a ye nheda ammo ni din ye Kristoni a ewiase aye ne se we have to conform. I say we a Christian who live in certain type of life. Like last week, now some my patient take say, "Oh no, ya no pa machi di pa." Obi krati so so for kasa opre. Amachi di obi ka say, "So my patient akofo." What do you mean? Say what? Yes. What do you? Debut. And you so to me wom. One say one thing nyame asinti no. Eniema bi wo hwa ya na ye ohuhu debi ye the teachings bi anhunahuna wo enti wo sha box bi mu of say I have to behave certain way to prove that I am a Christian debi you have nobody to prove to but to God first enti ye ka odo ho asem a eyi obi say wo say me do certain way I sha manum kura wo say me yima no no wa neglect no ho debi wo ye Kristoni a enya ho fusa ankotena asore de am say nkrofo say me ho bon debi. Me have come to a season in my life and now me shoes ye me dinini na fa because who ko nipam me ni padua yo nyame asore dan be ba covid be fiti anopa kosi anwumre oba bi nware ye enti nyame nkronkron no wo hwi ane yama na ebon na de we mu de we are being practical here. I don't know but me ti ase me ni padua yo nyame asore dan ya na nyame asore dan wo ahokire wo ho to de bi wo ho a watare na e ba akopɛ ba wo free baby ko ne ba if free na wo mu die si na sa ato wo san hwɛ ebi wo ho a Christopher mo na mo ma abrabɔ ne ye wo na ama ho kwan ma wo bi ebu abomfi a na kasa wani mu bia na aba be kasa they didn't treat me right sister mo tuo mo bon enya dan ya ye nipa who ni sure line 20 20p UK 20p maybe there been a time I roll on and a bill listen I'm not hypocrite I told you I want you to me Bible and say you are 1 year now said to be brand new for yourself. Yes, I have bills to pay. Yes, I have kids I'm raising for them to be better than me. And sometimes when you're shopping, but that na me wono your friend be say miss and match calculating. What's why you the camera now with the cock sister yi fees also abeji nyame die bi aduku siniti ye kwa wa de aduku ya ade onko say enti wa nye nyame anya wadom na wo so out of desperation yi sofo yi a wa be o hwese de wa yi woni dwobiri a wa be si front row na wa obi ye wo wa so hwe wa bra bobu enko yi o so agi atu enti ye ka ye nyaka prayer o de die o bo die ya ni se ko jare na yo Daya and say week ni two now from man for with you na kakawure na eba wutira no no where the 40 obi ama hey who needs to catch a routine, you're a natural, your who fine, wash your glasses, over as a professor, until you are saying, I'm not dumb, none you crew yet. I just saw a bayano rough pussy about you, be forced when you're 30-year-old. Why your whoop is why your whoop as I hope I saw what I said, no sooner me free from my amount. Not and also you software and 2 years. Then listen, everything is about branding and packaging. And to the software, I know who to say now. What now? Not if you are sorry, maybe as I say, you were more than a year video near the other. I your home as service, one that didn't come back. We have a cast software and treat you. And so, what I mean, software who said, I saw them now. Also, you are sorry, die. Oh, brand. What my life is difficult to my as a company for me. Sorry, what can who be? Some can you what will be? I'm just made them offer. Oh man, I saw them yet. Then I saw you this. And I didn't know one said that. Yeah, when they hear and I'm a whole quite yeah, you was. There's some me for common sense meaning account because he say or say I watch run out with them. He wish above all things you live in good health and of sound mind. My wife been angry mutia and for be and for frustration na o kofa bra no so for no kan who bra no wo brave no bra no also wo pena so for ni hobby and to broken heart kakra amend yourself or carry yourself as if nothing has happened. Can you to say a friend is saying root Naomi what come more about say I just swam or see your friend Mara because sister root to bed in the chin or some yam and your friend Mara and so no call you know or could you well free but some of you are having good jobs in Africa. Who took quite when we say yammy, but oh, Madame for Bisa America collection. It's one shed that claim we say yammy say. The plans move now you can now over Necahon. Germany now, but now in a cajon. Wow, now where we signed the Coden Yamia. You are not being fed. Who are Saka or frustration? What I say, because you know, class of one and feminine, soft ones who will issue. Soft ones who will be a air cost will be. He's a shepherd, but more. Some of the sheep will get lost. Yes, sir. Or your grandchauffeur one and now ye Ogwanya would grandchauffeur. What you run? Some of you who run now will do when you know on tenant. And if you don't respect the oil that is carrying you as a shepherd now, you will not benefit. Wa software who said that ni papa. Software who said that trust and said yeah wa we are who be better as a software mu we also swafa ho adene. Enti the software ne kan wo honhom bi e beboa no on te. Wo pa mumi source of my patient. Wo nye ne ngusre ni obi be fra abonten aba ogi ne ngusre bi wo be hu no abefa ne nsenkyere na wo guso to ABCD mu enye obi a na aba odua wo onne ye na wo de te ho na aba odua so what you say enti situation ni bi wo ho a until say ubenyi afri sa dimension no ebeje wo say the system is robbing you because bibi ni wata so ye nyina ya kan bi da etole bi wo ho a obi ye ni ho a the moment you be wata so no ubohu se hwe ma menkyere o Yesu kura no Mary Magdala wono anu abotu Bible say na dwosuo no o kan Bible commentary na mo ya professors theologians mo nkona mo nkɔhwɛ mo Bible me de ti ase na me bua mo nkɔdete mo ha Mary Magdala o ko ready a o de Mary na baby ana o ten Magdala asa waje ho na aboso jantere ni a waje ho aboso enne no abeti Mary of the Magdala na cheso ye tutu ni odem wo sra begu nyame na so te de okai obegu Yesu na ase no o se ehiafo de na ya akwa ese satan prostitute ni hu hia se mu amudi na chi a mu ye tobe no edru babia ye hia sika betini ama obi mu sra hye kire apiaba enti so sofo no obi ko mani sika mani ni ba nipa menka se obi ama ni bi but we are humans wona wo sa position na you might do well enti na me say ya moma a bit empathetic because in ministry they need money. Once somebody say obi a Mary Magdala or asori nimu obi Elizabeth or asori nimu obi Ruth or asori nimu ni nyina wa asori nimu na ni nyina yi sofo ba akono e wo so identify sa niam ni nyina wo obi amu makoma just imagine say congregation mu ye ma 100 obi a wo traits or de ba ye ebi ye Boaz ebi ye Lazarus ebi ye nkura tutu won onyi ni sesofo no o ma na ba benya disorder Unim say one kasa mo dia sofo gina bra bia etobua na omo ankasa no in the way of just to please everybody no na omanya how would I use this word ya akwa say so be a person sofo suit to the kind of caliber where ye e wa sorry dem a etobua sofo lose ni authentication and nyame de frɛ no because he has to please the Ruth, he has to please the Elizabeth, he has to please Lazarus, no woman, he has to please Mary Magdala, woman, he has to please Nkwala, Joshua, and Caleb, a woman. I told the people why they get frustrated. And they do why ya ma was semi ma situations because we do ya would this of water we know now for she would this of water. Enti nya sofo no na aya oboni o na wo onye nwusira ne wo so busu teko enti ya nya wo dem anti ya wo hu ba bi asem wo no ensem ne ha na until say you get closer to some of the good pastors you know and them remu bebre nya ya if they have their own will on beto asori dey anymore they wanted to close it. So what you say because I told the people why nipa ho adwuma eho ye den so for back so afa na mati ase as minyi you know afa na meti Moses ase say obi a wakura nyame bo sha na afa bi frustration ti me man to nyame bo sha to twene na kire say nipa frustrating na man you free sem ransom no wagya to ho. That is how the dispensation most of our pastors are in. It is not only at the top. And sometimes I will say, Caleb ni Joshua be free muba. It make us say, we are with you, Moses. And these are some of the things. I told the blue wana ye can sorry someone. Mama yam one fasan ye maybe soon shall sorry money trim. Now my sorry baby and yatama ama diodin anymore because on also a conidium on also conidium pa. Me pacho me di besi ana bi obi wo bibi kan na e wo se me
yo sister wo ye da tipi
sister wo mo asamka
me pacho kasa
me o ka sama me de say o ma ye hu say asofo no which is true. Sometimes we overlook it, but me person me twi asofo nso adwen ko another part of scripture na Moses or the bibia or ye no edu time be ne father no friend catch and say o delegate it's so delegate na fit me chade and me chade no me class no obi ho no ma 1+1 no me wo levels be brave wo me class no and say metimi eye such a way say metimi asutu obia me then so say you were Ruth was sorry ho your Mary was sorry your Martha was sorry be brave was sorry ho enti no say na ye ko ye nim no senia tete no asori na ye neema no nya stand this if we are moving forward what are we doing to make sure say challenges na eba no we are meeting it and we are solving the problem. It's a challenge to have different people with different temperaments come to the church. Yeah. And be answered in a problem eba. And nipa ko ne ba na say yentimi solve na so ba no feel say or you isolated there's an issue. So for no kwentimi nye adwuma no. That is why there should be systems in the church. So that is the main point I can say. Mimi come experience. I never had an experience with a particular pastor. I had experience with people in the church who had come, who had made me feel rejected and not part of them just because of AB and Mamba or Mamba. And there are things and just often a catcher or Osha say, or be atade a bone to no man into her. What's just not decided say, we can hear man into her. You have anymore. There should be systems in the church that needs to work. There should be systems in the church that needs to work so that Uncle Fele say, "Oh my, isolated and oh my rejected." And so for I want to mean you that.
Okay, let me address that one. Let me tell you the reason why those things are there. But we are trusting God to say, as some of you remember when I came on, how I addressed all of you. I realized I see Elizabeth in some of you, Ruth in some of you, and all that. And time na obi kase nyame afre na ofre won so odom won so, but only any qualification biya wotimi ede ebuama nyame adwuma koso odom a yede kanyame asem or the spiritual side afei ohia se ono ankasa ebe ma no ho kwan na wosua se de ani nipa koraatna or you're very good spiritually but only good human relationship tie or adom a ide nyame adwuma enti Church of Pentecost first nanka ye de odom na frɛ as time goes on I'm say last general year free so no apostle Opoku nyina time oba ye o say e wo se wunya nimdie because after ye nyankrofo they are very spiritual but then again no omu ni eba ye ba nyema ye was systems now person you put in place now or new capacity no so a lot of churches had made these mistakes. Wow.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of mistakes. Na eno na se wo Elizabeth na ukopie hwa ma ho kwan na adom a wo mu no. Onso fa kwabo asore no. It doesn't matter say onye emekuo pani. Na emom si afọ emekuo pani bi na uwo nimde sen no a twene bata wo ho. Na kire no. It doesn't matter say
from the where.
Sister, it is not as easy as you say, as you are saying. No,
it is not easy. It is not easy. But let me tell you, sometimes it is the timings and approach and how you do it. One will say Ghana for be cram pe atiatia like atene. For the fact to say ono na ye leader no. On person when about the catch and say ye say. Yes, but I believe say afunana na oni ni rana no yeso jani penny neteno. I walk patano. Sure, there comes a time I will leader who approaching that there must be a way for approach. There must be a way. Young fan say, me can't who say munina me makobi muda dear more can I know where you are coming from. But let me tell you, say you so, and then you say you want to prove a point. You have a way of going, and when you go, no matter the rank, because a yenyame adwene na woko kano, a beto nipa na koma so, ni nyina approach. And a time and I would can no and chairman bibi manual sabekaye because you say there be and now say you want to prove say no. Well, sometimes you might have correct apple. But time I would upon a bano and when panel, depending on baby or soft original. Now, so me no me no ed to say Bible say home no ed no cre time as a wabo home pie and a approaching nipana ubedru one obetie unyansa somewhere what day. Edit says afnana na ote you running channel it to be ko catch say the ni penny ne say wo yade show bi hu yesi ehye ne ho na chese nya bibi a wo hyeda de pie saa enso sa akola ntimi ka catch ne say mi wo difuo bi wo bi kuro mu a ono de awokọ ho a so jani ne catch ne say ohwe nsuo ada ne kuro mu na yesi won kontina nsuo fufuro mu 7 times a who say it doesn't make sense saa na tie ni pani gina soro and na ebi kura wonye leader wonye hwe ba wo pese o ka kire say yemfa system bi wahu eye nyame asori entimi di kan say wo ya asori na how do you want God to see your church the moment e wa say your pastor patient asori your sister ya asori your sister adwa odo asori that is when na unya problem but unya kwa asori ho say oho na mesomo a ya asori sa na ye kasa ujitu mu say the approach I would call say sofo ya asori ebeko ye nwanye sofo wa asori no ukasa person che say na asori na wo bebo
sa sofo no so be bredi o mo dia asori no to
sa fe de mati ase say yenya approach sometimes
sometimes sofo no di o mo dia to asori no so o mo di sha ase
na me kra no na wuni ho e na wo kwa asori so unum say Church of Joseph Church of Yan
Church of John.
Church of Adjoa. What they say a church of Pastor Patient. What not somebody now call.
Yes, sir.
And to say when you come who be dear, and now you are part of the body of Christ of Church of also Patient.
To say no,
It's a walk for approach. You have to walk for say or so for what sorry no. Okay, say so for mama. Make a wampire with the 14 days as you want. Nyamianka Sabema was someone who became who through house of mammy patient a coma better yam. A hana key point and yes, I'll call ya be wrong in do any yes, I when you say. Should I say my social was said the Anna Colanical to every platform, the swap of kind of terrace I did on to us yet. Who said the Colani running about in the church? I am a teacher. I don't think we should do it that way. I have social workers there. Or no, you're not sure the whole new social workers. Ain't you know, Okwa home pie, would ya quenya meaning say, make what cancel me and talk my personim. The moment I obey your son, leadership come by say, yen young confer what who show leadership skills. Some of you, when you go, you are sitting there alone to because it's a bedroom. So one say you are a new so that. And to be concerned for a certain way to a certain B, a certain C, because who train say, your best will say, until you are a leader and son now leadership skills number debut. Leadership, papa, say, even when nobody is watching, when they have not conferred on you, who couldn't sorry them one, want to put things in place. I know now you see more until ya sister do you see Yamia sorry. And only you see you see Yamia sorry. Now, what say, my me a qua, me qua, me to me, me corner paper that form cramming for because you will clean out, clean your sorry them. I will from Moody Boss and I'm sorry them. There is one woman in ministry, I'm managing a ministry. So we are blessing. He used to be a cleaner in a church. And necessary was run on the oh, I respect that woman. I respect that woman, no matter what. Or you nipa. But the American say, and Yama bebre wa and son or Dumbi wa over pese beba was no. I just said, oh, ye bribi, ma was so cassa. I told the boy was say a bathroom. A brochure for bebre, ya qua sodia. Or quite Juma, not or call washroom. Oh, you're careful, who be every washroom. So, more sorry, damn washroom. I'm corner BB and see you cry. You can't be bothered. Some of you will go to the washroom, don't even flash because I saw them will be clean. Wow, Sa Subai, who do a sorry, damn reaching them chow now they are carrying a seat. I say, wow, San Yama way now, but sorry, I'll person will be able differently. You're quite Jumana, ye later. One said, your whole prayer. Me kwa sorry said ya me kwa adwuma me ho preme no saa na me kwa sorry me ho preme me kwa sorry na ma ye later mia esenye bribi na aso me mu na ma ye later said ya me treat me adwuma saa na me treat nyame adwuma because and also a part of it diligently saa na Bible na ka diligently seek God enti a conscious ade. And yes, I will yen biada keke. And yes, I will yen the sadia wope. And until I mimic a cassette and a one quash or the amen ada so for say or quadruma. Was so a bre wada. Obia children, there be a wa bre nametia see and yammy was reading him say, a quenya will me kunu who Miss Anna Micris be genuine. It is one thing deceiving yourself, deceiving others. But what show who are you now go to do home to a person you are fan sa. Or therefore, you are not doing anybody a service. And you won't now when we are back, I said, Asari didn't dealt with me. Also, call Asari, you didn't even dealt with the church right. Oh, yeah, Yamia Soren said you will pay. And then Yamia Soren treaty who said you almost pay because Nipana will honor. Eti obi wo ho a wo nse wa kunu hu nyina ma asafo no yes bibi to no a ahokeka ne different from yours.
Oh,
Not every
and
time.
not yet. And not yet. And not yet. I don't think so. It's right because me I'm sorry. No, no, be better me almost say why I'm sorry. Yeah, not there. It's Mr. God is not love. It is absolutely wrong. And not yet.
I know there, mom.
And yeah, no, tina. Obi I'm sorry. Out me be on a catch and say,
Yaminchenaso.
Papa, Yankupon Chumaso. Saying, I then Yankupon or buy and or so or Beja be an asshole, or he came because he love us. The whole point is, sorry, now people are judging you and they make you feel unwelcome. That how should making you feel. They shouldn't.
No. Nobody has been given the power.
Oh, they do it. They do it, Pa.
They do there are cliques in the church.
I know.
There are groups in the church. There are groups in the church, and that is
I
how.
know that one. It is everywhere.
No. They be said Outcast.
Groupings, groupings. It is everywhere. Nipa su, nipa bang. I said nipa bebre wo baby fa kwa. Everybody wants to work with respect. So what you are saying? But many women anadwo ya yetie nyame asemi ye tutu ye hufu ye kwa sorry ye main aim ne say I am not going to do groupings. My main aim ne say me kosum nyame o de sa adwene no ehye wutiri mu a one will say ye ma ehye nyame etubo hu say groups na wo mu no wo kwa sorry asa group na o man so ne o mu di agro o mo ma di generational thing ye ni person. Generation we must rise up and say we are building the church of God, not a church of groupings.
It is also
degrees now for. It is and sorry I English service, literary service. Who say I saw the crown no, and so English service for said they are more important to see tree service because someone we look at for. What will you pardon? Oh, it is everywhere. First service of waffle first service for correct saying one more I saw the we are no more lazy to mean surrender. One who need pardon ain't you know, and even in the first service of one, we will say graduate for one group, one more middle school, one group, one housewife association one group, and now one bro finish that so one more life. And then so at every point we have to say or say son a suit group be a thought we are suffer confused. And sometimes so suffer feel say who can graduate no who know to say obi a was here on tiasie.
Which shouldn't be, because if we go back to the basics, which is love, I am pretty well sorry. Disciple. No, it's not about sorry. I'm saying say sorry. It should be a discipleship. It should be say grown crofo. We should be taught say love is the foundation. How many times you have to start preaching no?
Now love is the foundation. Love no ye ka ho asem de wo kire wo no te love ase.
Also for love ase.
Also for na wo ka love asem no. Who say wo ka love asem so for ma mete kwa ase wa mu na. So for no te love. E kwanya so for no so for ma mete ye no te love
of Christianity no. Any foundation for no. Any so
and mama sorry. And I'm not sorry
all these problems, no.
Why was I so on person and so me can't say want to love us and also more mass or one mass or
it is the foundation or software want to love us
Christianity. It is a software want to love us here. And no
love now what you say. I can't last a cry was so what the mount. None in rare physics love your neighbor as thyself. And there was so the kind on him. And yourself
they are not teaching love. Basic, it rules everything. It's the most important thing that rules everything.
The most basic should be for about 10 years or 15 years and yet catch, receive, you claim it. No one or much the prosperity message.
That is the problem. That is the problem.
And I mentioned I say, I saw for your family dispensation of 15 years if we more foundation, no core value, no, he has missed it. Now, who ye nyamiasa, also ye nyamiasa you. Oche lava se. Sakwenya ba. Apart from consider pa pastor teaching service won't call. Na ebi love ye can once we die be far bano. Uber dissect actually one tias ye ni and no be a plan of teaching service. Obi apart from Sunday ne pe. It is Sunday, so for back here, want to love was he should never be preaching.
We have a problem.
Sorry.
I will gain from it. Now, behave properly.
And I said, one said, me bear more, Miss Natural says, a soft one in the 1 15 years will take, catch, receive, wakobo da man ba so yes won receive we no one watch asori mana na only foundation nka wo a wo so ye asori bayi a anka wo de wo ti ase when ya Methodist when ya Presby call foundation of love enti no say akwanya ba na ye Bible studies and I say yes small groups na o chire love it will affect the church.
No,
it will help the church.
If you are called by God, you will know love. If you are called by God, you won't go and preach catch. It's me, hame ho kram baho. Meko baby I preach love. Obia he baby I'm quite sorry. Utimi share jeans t-shirts quite sorry for obia ho. Enya afe na wo kokko sleep. No wash your coat, no wash your tie. He your friend is say Ghana for sorry. Okwa no more share what tag na hwe say. Uto wata de no primer kana so.
Ghana for ni na sorry.
Sana mutia.
Debbie, who want show be tag? I didn't know why I didn't show be so tag.
It's a me share t-shirt ni jeans kwa sorry no.
Aha, enti ayi gidie ni bi nso a wono so ni gidie no yen share jeans ni t-shirt ono so feel so wa asore no nya papa. So on be
I love myself, I love you, I love anybody who can wear anything. Dress should not come
Hello, Sheila.
All about love.
It's just all about love.
Basic.
It is all about love.
Now you bet share and crop from to say who coffee a kind of Bible because a lot of problems in Sube fear so for so because then you are empowering your church members also to pray for themselves, read the Bible, to no obebano or edify the bit. So because almost incorporating the back to say that it's in any year. You're quite sorry, Sunday school. Until you get to study the Bible and then you hear the word of God as well. But you see, you know if you walk, and you
know, some mobile sorry na say 2 hours to tell me penam or time.
Marvelous chewing gum.
Na so for na kwagene so no mu pie free wa na another church ba. So what you say?
Me
sorry Sunday school na first year kwa sorry ya. You said that Bible studies. At least you've grabbed something before going. The only said Bible studies said how to even do your friend is saying morning devotion with the family and then anyhow let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to the basics of the scriptures. The reason why we are in church. Wow, and then sorry, who bisano the aneba. On any bear sorry, onim the enti and ma me kono could mammy and casacre him the enti walk. So, but let's go back to our first love. Let's go back to the reason why we are called to come together. Say yenya sa call values in na after say yes, sorry, we have a different, we can change the narrative. Oh dear, yen kakra bi a yati love masi. Ye koba bia yen chire nyamedra. Yen fras yes say ye done donate because we are the church. So what you say? Yen fras yen ka odono ewo ho. Ewo ni yemu, any adiyomu, and I said ye niyama. Sometimes and yet preaching now you don't have to stand in the pulpit. But only ye wo be ye. Unti uti piu so. But said ye wo ye wa de fa. Said ya wo ye wo niema wa sorry mu no ye frɛ bibi power of attraction and ye said ya wo ni nipa human relationship even though say oho no wo mo nkyerɛ love no but o do nyame do adi a kyerɛ nipa ba ko mienu they will come enye osofo nko adwuma okay osi go into the world o ka ho bi o ka ho bi enti no o de ne se
we maybe I will be no you are portraying it but I'm saying say they should do that because ebeboa and it will be faster because they are able to influence a whole lot of people more than we are. And Nkrofo come there to listen to them. So if they are stressing on love, they know that coming from Osofo, it must be very important. And also, they find a way. Sometimes, no, there's a church there. They incorporate something like homework. So you are forced to go and read your Bible because next week, you don't know, say, a prayer bisawa, and I say before the preaching starts. So it doesn't have to be a 30-minute Bible study or a 1-hour Bible study. But if we see how important it is now, you're incorporating into the service some way, somehow. Oh.
Pacho, Brian Manuel said, is the church the only place to... Brian Manuel, I agree with you. No, it's not. Brian Manuel before that said, say, race and groups and things should not be in the church. I agree. Share. Sorry, I'm a one. Somebody walked in the other day. This gentleman, me share Nesahono. He came. He sat quite close to me. He had his Bible. He was looking through it. He listened to the word of God. He was praying and he got on, and nobody showed anything as to Ghana for sorry. And can no akase ntade no nim sasa ne man one hono sa day no one shirt long sleeves ankata ade no so judge him. They would judge him. From I should we are better than why dreadlocks so much show. The way sense you the bar sorry. Yeah, judge. Adding.
It's not that I'm being but unim say yet waffle need to moment once a one casacra casa will share brand.
Mission because I was wondering
woman nature. It is like so share no, but brand no better now when I will be in the Bible muno. I imagine so no special Bible. It doesn't care what you are looking. One who say Ghana needs to call baby na ye share no so ye na adwene say me ba sorry. Any other thing doesn't matter. No so be boy. Shadi ye be show. Woman beings are like that.
But
if everybody something is strange.
Seriously, mom, your subane de see a can ho asem.
Your subane de was
it's very bad.
Na ka ye kan ho asem say. Wa dia no ye kan fa wo ho no. Wo so ye wa adwene say ye kan maintain. See no evil, hear no evil. The moment you begin to hear them, wahu ukwaso na wubu nuegu asumu a ema wuti meji bibi e wasa woje every po ayi nyame asemu. But okọ na wosu abie waso a wo bete. Momma yensu ase ye kwa yente. Se wosu ase de wo hwe wo no wonso umfi na. As time goes on, it will wear off. It will wear off
with some people.
To say, a good platform is soon a before say meboa. A lot of time people are saying and so genuinely, and yes, I will know. You have a purpose. And no Ghana for your Chrome Ghana for pet. Me munina, but looking at how no bapai, actually, let me say, no body, wardrobe. Oh yes, yanya gusu nyina yanya mresa enti obi ehwa na ordinary dwene buru say menye nyame ntimi mu a eyo no na dwene mi wo hoi obi wo hwa woni meda minti ane na so but the fact say me kasa kra me ho ye nahi ofu say ma no dodo ofu say me ha dwene dodo. You don't have to do anything to have an enemy sa na wi ase na na ni patie. And she say you got to say divine way ase na wo a obi ka no o mane ha wo bebre na de ono so ka no so mfi na as time goes on it will die off. Nipa ne back closer to me now who say there is a soft spot in me. May another side of me when you come closer you will see ya. It will die off. Kasa ni be jai e wo your community ni mu na ma ba bie wo bia Ghana fo wo bia no emu adwo. And sa nyema we nyina nkan na wo ho na social media na ada ya da pedi. And then because the camera is on us everywhere no ama enyema bia hweduabo na wo ho dada subanfi bi ne ya ji nkrofo kunu e wo ho dada enyema ekoso nyina na ekoso na de na wo mu sende entu atesese because na enibie maaye na enna pete sei na asa ye ho na mpan bebre enti no eguso koso ichira wo say it is escalating to another level because eneno nipa ye nyonyam pe obi apese ye kase me obra one way the other person ne ho obi apese ye kase omo de ne correct the other one de ne correct obi apese of say ne gidi okura mu ne correct obi say me gidi ye no monsa we si we ne de ne no monsa we si ne de mi free hwan na we so enen Kristo obi say mo say na mo so Most of me your wine. So what you say? Ain't your name? Sadia ya can you now? Who can be what would see no? For which I say, what have you also done to help? Dear na men to me aye. I'm men sorry, aye different. Ain't your honor me say, yen gusu na young conquer your family, the little we can. And kwaye bribi kakrake bia, but among your circles kakrano, nipa kakrana wono, den yame dwe di chre. It will spread. Sa na afi I want to atwaso na eba no ekwa do yenye nyame na ye pese ye present ma won na me ka kire mo se yenye wo your 40s ye ma ewu a kire a eba no mo se bebre mu wo ho a mo kasa mo ma mese me nkwa aso na afi mo twetwe mo 18 19 years one because they are confused oba for no fra sorry ba se de o kan e da na ho asem ya no ama sorry no wo ba ne kon Ufra so the by said ya wo ka wo church member no ekwan bi odo wo fra so no wo bisa ne ho se nti we na mo se ya sorry na na wo but the moment a yen so ye be start say yes san nyema bi kakra bi no e wo yen ya yeso no kona no that is the church some ye church ne dia na me so me ya abo anyame asori because enyo obi particular person bi adwuma e ye wo so adwuma enti na me se yen change narrative no. And we all cannot be in the fact to say the church have not been good to us. Me, I've had my fair share of trouble. Matana Safumua, presiding head or 2 or 4 years, Nana no Kuran to a menuda. Your friend say, Mom, now be imagine any one year, Mom, by a room sweat mutual. But I stood in my grounds. My grounds, they say you won't take the God from me. Oh, and you want to tell me, that one quite some can add me by. So what I say, I stood in my grounds. Nancy on me I fine pa. A quite of a fast and me fine menka because social media. Now wouldn't Yamesa and Yamia Nadi. Or see he has used the foolish things of this world to conform the wise. Mubu or why at the end I will pay empty a wusuti Yamianum, a war or a qualabianum. And yet the number of years I watch now, sorry, demo. But there were at the Obiani the one Casawa saw the Quran who won't fast was so because there be baba. Unya and Pano on Casawa saw not to I will Casa Obi show him. And you know, Obia here, everybody is needed, irrespective of what the person does in church. A Jaman for woman to make us say Mary Magdalene and who here. Martha be wo honey who here, Mary be wo wow, no so ben one when we are near some sorry no who here, sorry. Ye here will be our year root and swa, obeti na womi be achi. Abrewa be any daswasa. Na akwalebi or the namho, I watch them say, Yako Melko, Yaguso bomb, Paya man, no banani daswabe, Bona in daswaba the benim, sa, obinsu here, na womi binsu. And Yenaya will be a yawa, sorry, ma, unyamia sorry, ya sorry. Because after all, many are sorry dying. Many yamia sorry. And Yenaya play a patter. Dear what didn't the any would be flab on Tiamba, no shed them fino. Men I make a chum simply residing at the Bua Tran as 4 years long Casaman. Me mono, men come, who yen a shikaka.
Wow.
And group of the caliber of Uncrophone or Peno, men to saw, men yama yet saw. But I wasn't perturbed at all. Me was a and I was determined. Nancy Oshiamia,
I know. I'm saying, we are and I miss me will be.
Aha. Wahoo, Nancy on me, yeah, fine. Hey, what's we are doing? What is he trying to tell me? He has tried anything. I am not certain. Maybe I'm Mijina. Mijina Yami and me forward Yami and Mishia one machia no chamupa so. And ya friend, I maybe shall so share me and now one share. Will be crab a catchers or chia that your year is in farming machia. Wahoo, I don't encourage me so na ya some for no one didn't shame to him. 4 years, no 1 year, Mamma could run quite the whole year, me could run quite short. Me drew so many exams and me could run and say, me could assume a single woman. Ah, Nasana, me could assume a tin's woman. Me didn't drop. And ya friend, I wanted me feel quite be track one base in Kunya, Miss Miku's assume a single woman. Me made me be soon, Miss Muyepen, your poor young my time, bag, and so be na me was so moon person, me yana doya, mayano. Bibina me pesa me ya sorry ye be cleaning my kobi me man ho adwene nhye da hia me saa enne wo hia na ne nyina no say to da bi wo ho a wo situation bi a emu a nipa no person de saa situation ni be ye wudin o ma ho kwan wo de be ye wudin e ma titiru A told you why they not air cost circumstances a womb and now situation be a woman be per se and obey you would. Who you suggesting your person was so one and Yamim what dear Quama. To your fresh sujaphobia, no, just over while we're back. Your friend won't wear pair Juma, no, just say, sister, where did you near Juma Beba? Yes, that one will hear crata or particular one be woman who so in crata on a Russian quine. But all my whole quine in the baby routine. I refuse to be called by the situation. Make that one. Many year man, how man not my rebellion, but many year is how I'm stood. I will yamia some so say, sad the by enka ho, a be free ho, now be on family yemi dean, or be a miss me yame were hinting. I stood. My rebellion, my no, may yano machia, or no more nana out of guiltiness. Ye caught ye convention, I be so be am renumha. A dream is so I say, be ye bomb pie, a dream is what we trouble. O mobicra, mamma, you were trouble. Now, where the empire no boy crop was. That's one money that I keep coming, I keep showing up. I keep showing up. And it's more my me sorry. Because and yes, I will because you come yet to me any divination. And then a man so be briad also. One yen is saying to me, Matame for sa. It's more my changing narrative by also doing our part.
So I'm ma ho kwan dia wo patro asofo ni bi wo ho mo no mpese omo ye bibia nti ye ma asori ma no so chance to get involved and do things. So ye pin baby ana ultimately it depend baby a wo obi apese onyi nyame mu nti wo baby na se unya sa opportunity ni ye mpushi wa ya na wo so abasa mabu ene se me kwa so na me ka se me so for young lady be young pastor ne be preaching na said you see ejiji who or encouraging mommy just and that's what the body should be doing. But yeah, no, and I'm just saying this broadly. Me menya yibi say, yeah, sorry, no more told there be and penny for and per se nipa. I don't know how to explain it. Just say, so no in charge of BBR. Oh, and only a certain group being also no. Well, anyway, media sana me no, but
Pastor Patience can be. I think so. One of the comment talkers said, "Go to it, that will benefit you." Because for me, Pastor Patience said, "Don't go to church that you don't like their norms." It doesn't. Every church has their instructions or the systems and the structure is good. And I like that very much because baby now be say so embittered that you are not self. Into baby a bit really free.
Yes.
Sister Walker said, Kosuana Kono, baby, na say, I don't feel say I'm welcome there. Na say, fits. It doesn't fit.
Oh,
I would move. And
yeah. And no, there is the truth. The truth say, and the entire man, me koswa kono say me pe. Just say ni pane woman no, and na ha adwene. And na ebi wo wa said the Walker say, ma uye embittered dear was so ujai. Men enye asori na na mempe na particular person be person odi mani but asori no so nyane dia o te se me ya onya me dia leadership na ato no so what you say sa na me fa no and I'm pan so as time goes on no me beti ase say well sometimes like so my patient to try dey bi obi wo ho a pe na won pe wasem no nye biribi poten na wa ye no but ebi a wo hwe no ho a he wish it was like you or you are like his wife or a sister B or something. And young body na waye. And young from swobi na waye. But Oshano who was Shemua, he wish said ye and ka ultimate casa audaciously. We are bold, no, we are articulate. Sana nanko pena bravo. Me, I've seen it so many times. Pena one per was no shadanya and bonibia. I am looking at a lot of characters who are very bold and who can speak their mind. They know what they are about. Before men ma bebre impesa, bebre use their English. So for be wo hwa anya biribi no aye no. Ohwe said the brofo yi utime ka ne wese, ka no meticulous, utime ka English ya. O ka ayi Canadian slangs ya. Wo kuya ne hiket. Onye ebona eno anya me fault na mmom be wo mu an say eye nipa su ene nipa ban As time goes on, the mindset about me will change. So long as say in the midst of the situation, me na suban boni bi emane enkoka say ye kan. When we say adie bi wo ho a ya kan to so you, and people are watching, they are waiting for you to step on near say, oh, some kind me catch them. So what you say? That sometimes you get to that phase also. Ain't you know, me no, na me ni situation where mama ye embittered. Me who from afar say, and ye bibi amaya no me show makuma mu am ntia ne na so me nka no me nim no kra wo baby ya nti a bedtime. Nti so time ya me who say bibi wo ho a enye me fault. Ma we me ho ahwe. Na kare me ho wo nyame anim. Me ntia wo bia na so. Me nkogina baby nka na asem me nim no. Nti wo mpem asem a wo mpem asem say dey. Say what? And time prove it. As time goes on, what can say? Ha, uni munipa. Bribi beba me, my kindness will let you come closer. Me nya wo hwe. Be mom, my yam yen my dream mutia me no be na nti besam waba. So what you say? Me nya wo bone. Say yam pa so say we so onwe ne bone ma no de a. And let it flow with time no. Wa say wa you obi bisa. Nipa no nya wo hwe ba say one ne honhom nhia. On penasem. But as time goes on now, over closer, one with the different side of the person, you wish you have treated him well earlier on. Meboa, why you do that? And you obi sube to me, you be fanesa, and body of Christ. You near butre mayo. Like I started this day, people don't have patience at all.
Thank you.
People don't have patience. Thank you. We have already cooked meal. Yes. But who already cook meal? For mommy patient for already cook meal. Who should cook the food? One anywhere biano. Obia per se, he wanted to be treated like VVIP. Who should serve? Servant ben and the woho. Eya yanyan ye besom ye ho ye mu ana hemfu befiri aba ye mu ana nkoawo ni nyina nyame say the rich and the poor ni nyina ye nsa no nyuma. So what you say? So long as we are on this earth, some people will be down, others will be up. Whichever way you find yourself, be able to serve in your corner. Wahoo. Don't just come, live, die, give birth. Bebrena maba maware mawo mewu debi. Blah, be wari be wu jadin be to ho na obi nso nka say ye me maame asnes me maame ya ntobere na betna ayi eba
ya atobro maame awo ya atobro ena atobra no de
anti ya atobra ena betna nkran ena engineer bi wo no ena wo betna hwan ena o show the book of testy reflections ena didi mu an o ye we ena star. That is where you said you have lived a filled life. But bebre na ye maba mi frin crying na betina brochire e na brochire mi wa brochire ma e na wo mu ana Simon se che me ana stroke che me e na owu ye e na esie no e na okwa asore wo Methodist ana Presby ana wo call ayi Father is the church and we and ye kwa wie. This is not life. This is not life. The life is say as of mommy patient and I know free ayi kumase hwan and asa no ye teacher ni no ba brochire and obeti onyame ansore obi se nam so na mami hu Kristo and am hu Kristo wie ye and obedi sofo and e wo mu a da bi share no Facebook and o kan asem bi she is an institution. And you no kwama obi nso nka say enam of mommy patient ni sofo say enwu na mfa asore ne ma wo ba obra wo ba no dum bia ni so he will mess up people's mind like said ebi mu bu afu amimre ya which means say people are hurt in the church wo di aso ni ja wo ba onyame mfre no wo di ja wo ba woni said ye twa nyame nwa so a wo be say nyame asore ene bebre akwakwa say goshini ka agbu e ka kashi won bi na amabi ehu nyuma echekwa nyame mfre wo ba accountant no one man wo ba na ya sell as an accountant wo the by force by hook or crack aye no sofo wonim said ye hwe nyame nwa oben lesson crofo adi enkrofo bi fu enkrofo bi fi asori enkrofo be ba asori abetena ho keke me pese me sha me top ne me YAA'S me ba na betena se keke I'm just going to worship God. This is the kind of breed of people we have now, because people have been hurt from other churches. So I want to go to somewhere which is subtle, somewhere nobody is going to look, whether I look sharp, I look smart, or I look whatever. But even our presence, say you call for political appointment. Now we have to dress to show up among people. We also have to represent. Menka say Korea na fako, but said you obey your about don't just come and exist and go. Debbie. Mama emphasize adwene we enfa shisha nkrofo tirim.
Pacho, Brother Emmanuel say, I can be a great preacher. Your church should give you opportunity, pa.
Oh, maybe I'm a church. Oh, my mommy opportunity. Opportunity. Maybe want a platform that. So I don't need a church. I don't need a brand church. Maybe want a platform. Yeah, you know, I don't need to be in color. Anyway,
Yes.
we can work well leaders.
Yes.
They can work well leaders anyway.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, when I sorry call anymore. When church grow, people like me come out, because you know what? We'll pass the baton to other people. We will teach other people these things. We are not going to die with it. Baby, have great minds, but I sorry didn't even use them, and they are bruised. But thank God, thank God. I believe, say, yeah, parents will change the narrative. I mean, I'm in chair will be sorry. Me and Cassandra will master. Me call me fee and me there. Me boy. Like I said, church have bruised us one way or the other. But we are young with the mindset to say, baby, I don't need one, yes, you bet your order. And listen, say older or dirty, I did any pan time, and crofon time to us here. It is all right. As time goes on, somebody will catch it. Or do ya idea a chinipa. They also will spread it. That too will also spread it, and that's how it will work. Let us go with this mindset also.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Sister Oya, that's it.
So the long and short of it all, in general, is that we should live a life of love. And also we should pass it on to the next generation, because they are coming up. So it's our duty to also pass this life of love. Because if you love your neighbor, you're not going to bully them, you're not going to cast them out, but you bring them in no matter what, even if your beliefs are different. Because Jesus loved us in spite of everything. And also, he wasn't kind to only those that he agreed with. Even those that he did not agree with, he loved them in spite of it. So we'll come to a close, and then remember to get the Reflections for a Thirsty Soul. That you can get a copy on Amazon, Freezing Press, Barnes and Nobles, Google Books, and iTunes. So until next Sunday, although FODA does a midweek one. So we'll catch you again. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
night, all. Thank you so much. God bless you all.